Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for both prelims and mains examination perspective will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 10th of August. The first news that is inter-ministerial secretaries to finalize the calendar for G20 meeting. India will be heading the presidency for the G20. Second, that is India and Bangladesh in talk with the river agreement. Third, Lancet report on the monkeypox cases. Fourth, that is India termed Gaza violence as a grave concern in the UN meet. And the last is an editorial that is fair trial goes beyond court to the police and media. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before that, if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. Starting with the first news of the day, that is the inter-ministerial secretaries to finalize the calendar for G20 meeting. Something relevant for General Studies paper 2 under the topic bilateral, regional and grouping global agreement evolving India as and affecting India's interest. So with less than 4 months where India is set to assume the G20 presidency, India अपने preparation पे लगी हुई है where finalizing of the G20 meeting calendar which will be spread across 53 cities in India and critical importance to ensure कि किस तरह से logistics, venues, hotels and detailed program has to be met, right? So the government of India is making all its best possible preparation because India will be holding the G20 presidency from 1st of December 2022 till 31st of November 2023, right? So this is very important for India because this is the time at this juncture, at this stage, India would be forecasting the problems and essentially leading that. So the meeting is expected to attended by the secretaries from the key ministries, which was called by the इंडियन डिपार्टमेंट तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया अपने प्रिपरेशन में खास करके जितने इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्रेटरीज हैं उनके साथ मीटिंग कर रही है इवन द ऑफिशियल्स फ्रॉम द लोकसभा सेक्रेटेरिएट एंड कंप्यूटर ऑन ऑडिटर जनरल के जो लोग हैं दे ऑल आर अरेंजिंग दैट हाउ दिस मीटिंग इज गोइंग टू बी सक्सेसफुल सो द G20 summit will be held in India for the first time, right, in 2023. Now about G20, something basics which I have discussed frequently, but then just to give you a glimpse about that. So G20 brings together the world developed and developing economies, and this G20 grouping account for 85% of the global GDP, 75% of the international trade, 2/3 of the world population, right? And G20 is an influential forum of international economic cooperations. तो ये कुछ basic facts जो हैं ये आपको पता होने चाहिए. Now, member countries की अगर बात करें, this images is evident for all the 3 forum, that is for G7. आप G7 member countries देखना चाहते हैं, you can check here for the G7, for G8 and all the grouping together comprises of G20. Now, working of the G20, how the secretariat is going, how actually it functions. So talking about G20, it do not have any permanent secretariat. So G20 की कोई permanent secretariat नहीं है, and the agenda and the work are coordinated by the representative of the G20, which is known as Shripas, right? And they work together with the finance minister and the governor of the central bank. तो इंडिया में recently जो नीति आयोग के ex chairman CEO हैं basically Amitabh Kant, he is the G20 secretary for India. So this is again important for many other competitive examination. आप इस तरह के questions ध्यान में रखिए, कई बार exams में सवाल पूछे जा सकते हैं. Now, G20 process, how it actually functions. So the G20 process is basically divided into 2 important aspects. The first is the Sherpa track and other is the finance track. So under the Sherpa track, about 100 official meetings are expected to be organized. कुछ important priority areas है like employment, health, digital economy, trade, investment and industries, environment and climate, energy, anti-corruptions, agriculture, tourism, socio-culture, socio-economic development, education, and women empowerment. These are again important issues that will be highlighted under the Sherpa. ना उसके बाद अगर बात करें फाइनेंस ट्रैक की तो यहाँ पे 14 मीटिंग होनी है दैट विल बी बेसिकली फोकसिंग इनटू इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स विच इंक्लूड द इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंशियल आर्किटेक्चर्स उसके बाद financial inclusion and sustainable finance, financing for the infrastructure, and climate finance and tax matter. These are the issues that is not only concerning India but also the globe. The global issues हैं जिन पर discussion होनी है 40 meeting is scheduled. Now, India and Bangladesh in talk with the river agreement, something relevant for your general studies paper 2, that is India and its neighborhood relations. So, in an efforts to boost the bilateral relationship between India and Bangladesh, both countries are working to ink the major river agreement between the countries, that is India and Bangladesh. So the agreement is likely to take place in the upcoming meeting, जहाँ पे Joint River Commission की meeting होनी है. This is better known as JRC. JRC की meeting होनी है, which will basically held in the last week of August. So what is the focus and priority area of this meeting? See, for any meeting, priority area is very important for your examination. Specifically, अगर prelims की बात करें, and even precisely for the mains, this become very relevant. So four important, basically major priority areas की अगर बात करें, the first is sharing of the data of the river water, better flood control planning, and other is the Joint River Commission meeting to decide on agreement on the Kushiara and Ganga rivers. Now, talking about the Teesta Water Agreement, although this is something which is again debatable between the countries. So, India and Bangladesh have engaged with a long-standing dispute between the water distributions in the Teesta River, and India has agreed to offer Bangladesh a package on the river water-related deals that will be considered a significant advancement in terms of sharing the water resources with Bangladesh. तो इंडिया ने कुछ पार्ट पे एग्री की है कि वाटर शेयरिंग अलाउ की जाएगी, बट अगेन द इंडियन स्टेट लाइक वेस्ट बंगाल हैव इश्यूज, सो द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट इज एक्चुअली नॉट वर्किंग आउट. तो अभी इसमें टाइम लगेगी. लेट्स सी हाउ दिस मीटिंग इज गोइंग टू बी सक्सेसफुल. Now, looking into the dispute part, I'm not getting into the detail of this, but something that you must know that the Bangladesh wants 50% of Teesta water. अगर बांग्लादेश की बात करें, बांग्लादेश चाहती है कि 50% उनको मिले, but India claims 55% of this, right? So again, it is not possible because Bangladesh has said that they are looking for 50%, right? So it cannot be 105%. And talking about India's part, how the negotiation was met in 1983. So India first traded for 39% and Bangla for 36%, बांग्लादेश ने, और बाकी के लिए unallocated रखी गई थी. Now in 2011, New Delhi, basically India and Bangladesh stuck to an interim deal for 15 years, where India demanded 42.5%, Bangladesh 37.5%, and the rest remain unallocated. But again, as I've told you, there's a dispute that is coming also from the West Bengal. The Chief Minister of West Bengal is not ready with this, the sharing. So there's other problem which has escalated, and in due course of time, this has only taken a stretch, right? So let's see what better progress we can make. So this is something more about the Teesta River. Even you can take this screenshot, you can pause this video, and you can read about the basic factual content. I'll give you precisely something about Teesta River. What is Teesta? See, this is 315 kilometer long river that arise in the eastern Himalayas and flow through Indian state of Sikkim and West Bengal. The tributary of Brahmaputra through India and Bangladesh, and it is also known as Jamuna in Bangladesh. Now, Lancet report on monkeypox cases, something relevant for general studies paper 2, that is issues related to development and management of health. So according to the Lancet article, the monkeypox outbreak risk to the children and the pregnant women, ये article Lancet ने release की है. Lancet is a reputed journal for the medical sciences. It's the most reputed journal, right? तो इनकी जो रिपोर्ट आई है उसमें बताया गया है कि monkeypox are more frequent in children and immunocompromised person than an healthy adult. सो दिस इज नॉट यूनिवर्सल फॉर ऑल द कंट्रीज, बट कुछ स्पेसिफिक कंट्रीज में जो सैंपल लिए गए उससे ये एविडेंट हुआ है लैंडसेट के रिपोर्ट में. Now, the group of people with an increased risk of bacterial superinfection, sepsis, keratitis, and respiratory complications due to pharyngeal abscesses and pneumonia or encephalitis are mostly prone to the monkeypox infections. Now, more about the finding की अगर बात करें, the Lancet article further said that the previous monkeypox outbreak has seen the increase in the mortality and hospitalizations. तो hospitalization और even जो death rate है, mortality rate है, वो भी बढ़ी है, especially in the high income countries as well. Even the countries like United States has not been basically अगर यहाँ पे बात करें US में, ये भी चीज़ें evident है यहाँ पे कि cases काफ़ी नंबर पे report किए गए. Now, India is yet to register any case of monkeypox in children. Still, we have not reported any case in children. And the doctor so far has dismissed the idea that the increased threat to children, stating that there is very early to basically to come to any conclusion on this matter. And government of India still cannot conclude to the fact that basically जो expert हैं यहाँ पे medical science के expert, they said that still we cannot conclude कि बच्चों में ये ज़्यादा खतरा बढ़ सकता. But again, for the global practices, the report is basically from the other countries like United States, even for Western countries, यहाँ पे reports ये बताई हैं कि mortality और hospitalization बच्चों में काफ़ी अधिक है. Now, preventive measures is something again important. So the Lancet has quoted that the article also note that all available smallpox vaccine, although अभी खास करके अगर बात करें मंकी पॉक्स वैक्सीन की, तो कोई भी वैक्सीन रिलीज नहीं हुई है, कोई भी वैक्सीन बनी नहीं है. तो जितने भी स्मॉल पॉक्स के वैक्सीन हैं वो एक गुड अमाउंट ऑफ प्रोटेक्शन प्रोवाइड करती हैं, इवन फॉर द प्री एक्सपोजर एंड द पोस्ट एक्सपोजर प्रोफाइलेक्सिस. प्रोफाइलेक्सिस का मतलब होता है an action taken to prevent a disease, right? So meanwhile, the health ministry in its guidance, government of India, has said that the monkeypox is usually a self-limiting disease with the symptom lasting for 2 or 4 weeks. Now, the case of fertility ratio of monkeypox has historically ranged from 0% to 11% in general population, and there has been higher cases among the young children. This is as per the report which was published in the Lancet. Now, in the recent time, the case fertility ratio has increased up to 3 to 6%. Now, the cases you can see globally, किस तरह से cases report किए गए हैं, confirmed cases across the world. These are the countries which include Australia, Belgium, Canada, France, Germany, and Italy. Apart from this, Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, Sweden, UK, and US यहाँ पे confirmed cases हैं. Reported cases की अगर बात करें, Australia, Denmark, Sweden, basically Switzerland, Israel, and Argentina, and India has also been reported with the cases. कौन से ऐसे कंट्री है जहाँ पे मंकी पॉक्स एंडेमिक है? इट्स कैमरून, सेंट्रल अफ्रीका रिपब्लिक, DR Congo, and Nigeria. Now, where has monkeypox spread to? The number has recorded as per the country. You can see these are the country mapped with the color code, and these are the numerical value which you can take the reference. Now, India termed Gaza violence as a grave concern in the UN meet, something evident for General Studies paper 2 under the topic Effect of Policies and Politics of Developed and Developing Countries on India's Interest and India's Diaspora. So, expressing a grave concern over the recent escalations across the Gaza Strip, जो इंडिया की permanent representation है to the United States, they said that international community must keep an humanitarian assistance to the civilian population in Gaza, which is in Israel. I'll show you a map that will give you a clarity about this Gaza Strip, and UPSC has already asked a question in the prelims examination, right? So map work यहाँ पे काफी ज़्यादा relevant है. I'll show you a map. Now, the delivery of the humanitarian assistance to the Palestinian civilian and the population in Gaza must continue to remain in focus, और इंटरनेशनल कम्युनिटी पे से ध्यान देने की जरूरत है. The recent escalation has led to hundreds of buildings, homes to be destroyed or damaged, leaving thousands of Palestinian people homeless and escalation in the situation. Now, need to resume the dialogue. Government of India ने अपने conviction के साथ in a proactive role has said that moreover, US in a way has argued that all party need to work on the de-escalation situation and ensure that there does not have an issue. There should not be any spiral out of the control, right? And India's representation, the permanent representation to the United States, has stressed that even the Council focus on the cessations of hostilities in Gaza. So this should be the priority that should be coming from the UN as well. And India has underlined the urgent need for resuming the dialogue between the Israel-Palestine as a two-state solution. This is a long pending debate that is ongoing between Israel and Palestine. So those of you who are having PSIR as an option, जिन बच्चों के PSIR optional हैं, उनके लिए ये topic काफी ज़्यादा important है. Now, India has consistently called for a resumptions in the direct peace negotiations between the parties. So this map is again very important. You can see the Gaza Strip area here. This is the Gaza Strip, right? And this is in the Israel. You can see other country adjoining is Egypt, Jordan, Syria, and even Lebanon. And this is Mediterranean Sea, right? So map work आपके exam के लिए काफी ज़्यादा relevant. Now moving to the editorial of the day, fair trial goes beyond the court to the police and media. This is relevant for General Studies Paper 2, that is important aspects of governance, transparency, accountability and e-governance, although this is relevant for more other topic in General Studies Paper 2. Now, what I'm going to discuss under this editorial, there are 4 important subheads. The first include the inflectual media policies, regulating the briefing part, indifferences in media and the way forward. So the entire editorial focuses upon a theme that is for the trial, media and police. So recently the Chief Justice of India has objected to the lack of media accountability in the media coverage of a legal issues, and something which should not be publicly made was made public, right? So the Chief Justice of India remark has come less than a month after the Delhi police admitted to inform the media about the outcome of the Alt News co-founder, Mr. Jubair, right? I don't want to name any individual because this was already evident in the newspaper. We are more concerned about the news as such. तो ऑल्ट न्यूज़ के जो को फाउंडर थे उनको बेल की हेयरिंग में बिफोर द जुडिशियल ऑर्डर वाज प्रोनाउंस्ड इन द ओपन कोर्ट, राइट? So how the police, apart from the court, police and media, what their role can play, उनके पास उनके लिए क्या जिम्मेवारी है, how they can be igniting people to get the right knowledge, right? तो एक जो lack of information है या फिर जो एक bad impressions create की जा रही है, उसमें neutral approach किस तरह से create किया जा सकता है, ये काफ़ी important है. Now, ineffectual media policies, although the police are meant to be an independent agencies, they are tasked with the truth seeking, and that is not always the case in India. Now, even the forces are being pressurized by the ruling government. ये claim की जा रही है कि जो ruling government है वो भी misuse करती है पुलिस का. Now, given the media ability it shapes to have a political opinion, the law enforcement agency, especially I'm talking about the police, or you can say the ED or any other organization that is the law enforcement agencies, are sometimes under the pressures to selectively reveal the certain facets of investigations and mischaracterize the incident to a communal or asymmetric. Basically, जो symmetric है उसके हिसाब से. So this is something which is not under the spirit of the democracy of our country. Now the police, when independent from the political or corporate influence, are more concerned on demonstrating the dynamic or efficacy rather than protecting the civil liberties. तो जो fundamental right है, जो civil liberties है, हर एक individual के पास हो. Whether see until unless you are not convicted by the court, you are a normal person, right? जब तक आपको कोर्ट ने convict नहीं किया, you are not been charged with any sections of the IPC, you are still considered to be innocent. Right? तो इस इनोसेंसी में सिविल लिबर्टीज की जो रिस्पेक्ट है वो पुलिस और मीडिया को भी करने की जरूरत है. Now the court has also repeatedly directed the law enforcement authorities not to reveal details of their investigation, especially during the personal details of the accused. जो personal detail है वो किसी तरह से reveal ना हो before the trial, and basically completely it was mentioned in the Romila Tharpe versus Union of India cases, right? So if you're writing with an example, आप ये example quote कर सकते हैं court case को. Now, regulation briefings की अगर बात करें, most police department do not have dedicated media cell, right? For like police like Delhi police या फिर मुंबई पुलिस की बात करें, वहाँ पे तो media cell है, पर हर एक state में media cell नहीं होती है, which is again खास करके जो अथॉरिटेटिव बात करें, हर एक डिपार्टमेंट पे अलग अलग briefing आती है, which again led to the misinformations and even led to the leakage of the information, right? So there should be a media briefing, a media cell for each and every state department. As a result, the evidence-based narrative of the criminal cases presented by the police to the court varies significantly, and even accounted provided to the news media और उसमें डिफरमेंट एक इंडिविजुअल की जो केसेस है उसमें जुडिशियल सिस्टम एज अ होल एक प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करती है. सो इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि जो मीडिया सेल है दैट शुड बी देयर फॉर ईच एंड एवरी स्टेट एंड इवन फॉर द पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट एंड द ब्रीफिंग शुड ओनली बी मेड फ्रॉम दिस सेल्स. Now, the range of stakeholders now demanded a strong regulations of communication channel between the law enforcement agencies और media. तो डायरेक्टली किसी को बात ना करके एक जो लॉ इन्फोर्समेंट की जो मीडिया सेल होगी, दिस मीडिया सेल विल बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल, विल बी डायरेक्टली इंटरैक्टिंग विद द मीडिया पर्सन, राइट. Now, interferences of the media ethics extend beyond the verification facts. ज़रूरी है कि जो facts है, जो न्यूट्रल अप्रोच है उसके साथ आगे बढ़े. And apart from making sure that police narratives are accurate before making the public, reports bear the burden of translating the significant police version in a criminal trials, right? और current media regulations की अगर बात करें, it is limited to government regulation and not uniform with the print or television media, right? It is being always claimed that media are inclined toward government and print media have a different approach. तो जो synchronizations है even between the print media and the digital media, or you can say the television media, that is not shrink with. So media should be always neutral and impartial. They should be working on the fact, and it is very evident that media is considered to be the fourth pillar of our democracy. So accordingly उन्हें उसी हिसाब से काम करने की जरूरत है. Now what is the way forward here? So the media immense power to save the narrative regarding the public conceptions basically of a justice should be a closer एसोसिएशन ऑफ द जस्टिस सिस्टम. एक मीडिया काफ़ी एविडेंट रोल अदा कर सकती है, ब्रिंगिंग विद अ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू अपहोल्ड द बेसिक प्रिंसिपल ऑफ आर जस्टिस सिस्टम, राइट. सो मीडिया कैन प्ले अ वेरी क्रूशियल रोल. However, there is an increasing call for the media regulation. It is not that the immediate interests of the media and the general state of the free press, that is the media institutions, look inward to find the answer that what is essential during the ethical crisis. So media ethics is definitely lacking in our country. Most of the media houses are reported to favor the government, basically schemes of government approach. Now, the media should feel subject to obligations and do its parts in aiding the mechanism, and that aims to preserve this principle. So, this is how the media can definitely play an impartial role. It can play a neutral role in providing the facts of a matter. Now, moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is D. Today's MCQ for practice. आपको बताना है, Global Education Monitoring Report is released by United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, United Nations Child Emergency Fund, United Nations Public Administration Program or World Bank. So do check it out for the correct options. Second is Indian Cyber Crime Coordination Center. It is under the control of the Prime Minister Office, that is the PMO, right? And the other is that the scheme was set up with the 14C that was approved in 2018 to deal with the cyber crime in a comprehensive and coordinated manner. So do check it out for the correct option. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.